everybody? Boxing First Vlog. We back in the building. Hit you with another one too. Came to talk to you about the co-main on this weekend's pay-per-view card. Spenceugas unification. The WBA regular title up on the line against Eimantas Stanionis and my dude Razat. I like to say Budabayev, but the real pronunciation is Budavev. Budavev, I guess. I don't know, man, but I still like Budabayev. Anyway, this is my dude, bro. This dude is the nemesis of the 147 division right now. He's a guy that I think people know he's there, but not quite thinking he's a problem just yet. But I mean, you putting together these sort of victories that he's been in the last, I'd say 2 to 3 fights. He's been, I mean, stacking up good victories, quality wins. Again, both guys, gotta comment, both guys, they've been able to get a few names on their resumes within that 12 to 15 fight range that they're both in. Both of them got a little blemish. Stanionis got a no contest against Collazo, head clash, and Besputin and Budavev. That one was terrible because actually Besputin, tested dirty on the finest juices, in the immortal words of my guy G5 Jeff TV. Salute to the team. Anyway, man, but that was a close fight still in all. So going a distance with a guy that's on the juices and holding your own, that's almost a victory. So you see what I'm saying? I'm looking at it from a positive light. I do remember that fight. Both these young guys were on my radar at that time as future guys to be in this position because what they had been doing from a few years ago and from the Loma era, so to speak, with fast tracking a lot of the Eastern European fighters. And I foreseen both these dudes, and possibly at the time Alexander Besputin, in a situation like this, as far as getting a look early and not having to wait to the 21st and 22nd, those sort of fight ranges to kind of get a shot or get a call from one of these champions. So both guys have been putting themselves in position. As I said, they both have a few names on their resume. They actually both saw the same guy in Janeer Gonzalez. Let me tap in real quick and give you the results for the guy Stanionis. He actually got rid of him. So big shout out to Stanionis. On the flip side, this dude went the distance with Budavev. So again, this, so it's sort of, can you gauge how this fight may come out? But if you're looking at anything from what we can tell from both guys, we know Budavev is the pressure guy. He's nonstop. He's a grinder. Stanionis is, to me, a boxer puncher. He's a guy that can move. He's a guy that has to move in this particular fight. I don't think you want to go toe to toe with Budavev. He's hard-headed, man. You got to hit him with a sledgehammer to stop him, and that's what I want to say. Like, you look at the fight with James, with Jamal James. James was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this dude, and he wasn't able to slow him down, not one lick. In the earlier fight, I'll say with Besputin, the movement of Besputin kept him in that fight. That did go the distance. I think it was 8 or could have been 10 rounds. Could have been 8, either one. But back then, a couple years back when that took place, the movement against a guy that could track you less at that time in Budavev, he didn't have the ability. But that's stepped up tremendously, and you can look at the results of the Jamal James fight. He just stayed on him. He found him, and just like it was over at it. Like the results of the fight, like you know what was going to happen. Like, James could not keep this guy off of him. And this is the type of fighter that's coming into this fight. Now, both of these guys are coming from the same region, so there's probably a little bit of bragging rights that can go with this fight. Lithuanian fighter in Minez and a Russian cat in Razat. So this fight, it has some bragging rights, like I said, but it has potential mega fight possibilities for the winner, because the WBA title, the real title, is on the line in the Spenceugas main event. So this guy the winner is number 1. outside of this undisputed, because we know everything takes a backseat to undisputed in boxing. It's the biggest sanctioning fees for all of these bodies, so they'll do something, some sort of payoff, or give them a cupcake sort of fight to get an easy bag. I'm sure they'll keep Razak in that position without, I guess, throwing him to the wolves, even though he's the wolf in this 147 category. And that's a big shout out to my dude, Boots Ennis. But as far as we know, Boots is going the IBF route. So I don't know if these guys are clash unless you start talking unification within the next 2 to 3 years, after we find out really what's happening with Spence and what's going to happen with Bud Crawford. Will we even get that fight? But the horizon as far as the welterweight division, just sticking on that PBC side, man, they still got mega fights for us in that welterweight division that aren't necessarily the 2 top guys, quote unquote, in the division, but the guys right up underneath are still around. Even in a loss, a guy that loses this fight, he's technically still around, because it's only 1 loss within a short career span. So you can put together another 2 to 3 wins, or just bounce back with another solid victory to start getting a look again and maybe getting a call and that sort of scenario. But anyway, man, I think this fight breaks down as a very strategic fight. I think Stanionis has to definitely use his legs, be accurate with his punches, jab key. You want to stick that jab out. You want to give Razak something to think about before he just running in your front door reckless. So that being said, Razak, just do what you do. The pressure, keeping your chin down, not catching as many clean shots as possible. The better defensive guy, I'm going to go with Stanionis, because in the clips I showed you his little shadow boxing. You always seen a hand coming home when he was throwing. So he does lean towards his defense when he fights, at least in the clips I was able to share with you. And he hasn't taken a lot of damage within these 10 to 12 fights that he's had. So that being said, I give edge him in the defensive side of the game. So he needs to stay on the stick, use his feet, get close and try to smother the power of Budavayev. They both measure up pretty well, as you can see from that tail of the tape. And no real advantage from either guy physically, even though technically Razak has been the bigger guy. He's fought almost up at 157, if I'm correct. Let me look again just to double check. Yeah, he got all the way up to 157. So in that after a weigh-in sort of weight, that rehydration weight, which there should be a clause in that because this is a championship fight, he could still somewhat be the bigger guy come fight night. But Stanionis fills out pretty well too. So again, man, breakdown of this fight. I hope you guys got a little information from it. You enjoyed it. Tried to share the clips with you guys of these guys working. You can see why Razak's core strength is so good, man. You can see the training skills that he brings to the table to make that core strength be what it is and allow that engine to go. So big shout out to him and his training team. Big shout out to Stanionis and the guys he do work with. This should be, I mean, this fight might steal the show, bro. I don't know what Ugas and Spence got for us per se, but as far as what I'm anticipating to be guaranteed action, it's going to be Stanionis and Budavayev. So big shout out to everybody that tap in with me, man. Trying to get these videos up and back and cranking, trying to keep the energy up and, you know, just stay in the game, so to speak. So again, I salute everybody for tapping in with me, hitting that like, subscribe, definitely dropping a comment, hit that notification bell, because you know what it is. We here, we working. Boxing First Vlog, I'm gone.